Hello everybody. So today we're going to work on element 4. This happens to be one of my favorite elements. For me, I don't know, it feels like it's really starting to put things together. Let me get to the page. And I don't think it's too terribly long. It is about 25 pages. So I'm going to try not to say so. And hopefully I can read it with my sunglasses on because it's still kind of bright out here and a tad warm. But it's a beautiful night, and so I thought, why not do this outside here? So instead of, hiding away in a bedroom somewhere. Element 4, building a healthy mindset. So again, I am Sandy Kellogg. I am a independent Optavia health coach. I am making this video for my clients, and then if there's others of you out there in YouTube land that are interested in listening to this program, then great. And if not, just move on to another one. That is fine. This element again is called building a healthy mindset. And like I said before, I think this one really kind of puts together 1, 2, and 3, and then really kind of solidifies everything. And then we're going to move on to training and more specific detail as we move through the elements. Again, this book is part of our educational system, our educational transformation system that Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson put together for us. This is our life book, which is our journal book that we can actually write in and make our own notes about ourselves as we're reading through it. What is the companion book is the Habits of Health book, which is more about the research and also more stories about people and their experiences, but definitely the research piece of it all. So let's get started. You have now acquired some powerful tools contained within the Habits of Health transformational system. They're designed to help you learn and install your new behaviors. Hopefully you now understand that real change isn't just possible, it's inevitable. That is, if you're willing to become a student of the creative process and put the time in to make the necessary changes to install the habits of health in order to overcome and move past your current behaviors and tendencies and make your weight, health, and well-being sustainable. We need to add element 4. Building a healthy mindset. So that really just right there tells you that it's summarizing and kind of pulling together everything we've read about so far. My goal is for you to become the dominant force in your life. I'm going to say that 1,000 times probably, because that is probably one of the biggest themes with Optavia is we want to teach you how to optimize your health and well-being. But really, it's about becoming the dominant force in your life and not letting all these other things out there in the world influence your decisions. You are the dominant force in your life. You're the one who makes the decisions and has control and is the orchestrator of your life, if that makes sense. So I'm going to say it again. My goal is for you to become the dominant force in your life. I have that highlighted, bolded, everything. When I say my goal is for you to become the dominant force in your life, I am being very serious. When you have internal stability and external equilibrium, each day of your life will become all out magical. You will possess a habit that most have never even thought about. So what am I talking about? It's the ability to respond to whatever life throws at you, to respond in a way that will always help you in your life building process. Now, let's define respond. Respond is different than react. So he's not teaching us to react negatively or positively, but to respond in a way that is positive and fulfilling and a direction that you choose to take. Reaction is just like the knee jerk, right? This is thoughtful, thoughtfulness in how you are going to react to something. So now it's more of a response. And believe me, life is going to get in the way. We will eventually talk about how you can modify your surroundings to help the people, places, and things in your life support you in your quest to improve your health and your life. But right now, we are going to focus on you. So let's get started. Who is responsible for your current health and well-being? There's choices here that he has given us right here. I'll pull that up right here. And the list is, and you get to pick one. Who is responsible for your current health and well-being? Your parents? Your spouse? Your friends? Your environment? Your genetics? Or you? The correct answer is you. If you disagree, I consider it important to understand why. In fact, I would encourage you to write why you think so. Most people have a natural tendency to look outside of themselves to explain why life is happening to them. In fact, our ancestors survived because of their ability to detect and respond to threats. Like a neutral tripwire, we would immediately go into defensive position, shut down, and release a series of chemicals that would allow us to either fight, flee, freeze, or faint without thinking about it. There is no time to evaluate because you would be eaten, stung, bitten, or otherwise badly hurt. So let's talk about who's in charge of your life. Let's explore a little more about your mind, how your mind works. Today, most of the things that could have killed you, saber-toothed tigers, for example, are in the past. Today, your alarm system has been hijacked, and survival is about protecting ego, identity, and beliefs. The focus has shifted to a need to be right, the need to not look back, the need for social approval, and a fear that we don't have enough stuff. This becomes a feeling where we think life is happening to us. Part 1.6 of Dr. A's Habits of Health, You in Charge of Yourself, Setting Up for Success, explains how we evolved since ancient times. There will be a much more detailed discussion of how our brain, mind, and our emotions are designed when we unpack the habits of healthy mind later. For now, it is important for you to understand who is leading you on this journey to optimal health and well-being. Most people are sleepwalking through their days, unaware, not conscious of what's happening around them. They are not sensitive to the reactive state they live in and how they are responding on a daily basis to the people, places, and things in their lives. They do not know how to treat themselves. Life is happening to them. So how about you? Let me ask you to answer the questions below so that we can assess how you are responding currently to your world. Choose only one answer from the list. Again, here's the list. Your intelligence is, this is first category, your intelligence is, answer one of these. Something very basic about you and cannot change. You can learn new things, but you can't really change how intelligent you are. Fixed by the age of 5 and cannot change beyond then. Or, no matter how much intelligence you have, you can always significantly change it. The next category. Your character as a person is set, and there is not much you can do to change that. Flexible, so you can do things differently, but the important parts can't really be changed. Determined by your family and cannot really be altered. Or is changeable and you can always modify basic things about the kind of person you are. There's more. Next page. When presented with a challenge, I find myself getting upset most of the time, usually shy away from it and hoping someone else will take care of it, find myself making excuses, or look to see what I can learn. When I'm in an argument, I find it important to be right above everything else. Find myself quick to point to blame, feel sorry for myself, or seek to understand what the other person is saying. When something bad happens in the world, I find myself focusing on whose fault it was. Find myself wondering why the world is not different. Find myself blaming people who hold other beliefs. Seek to understand what can be learned from it. When I find myself overeating, I blame it on someone else, blame it on something else, blame it on myself, or look to understand why. Last one. When I find myself getting upset because someone makes me look stupid, I find myself unable to think straight, look to blame it on someone else, feel very angry, or realize only I can upset myself. In the diagram below, where do you place yourself most of the time? As you go through your day, are you above or below the line? So here's the diagram he's referring to. Okay, so the green one in the above the line says open, curious mindset. The other one says closed, defensive, wanna be right. If you find yourself mostly below the line, you answered anything other than number 4 to the questions above. You are not taking as much responsibility as you could. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's not your fault. You are most likely still allowing your ancient brain to run the show. You're not alone, and it does not make you better or a worse person. It simply means that you are operating your life at a mostly unconscious level. Welcome to the human race. Most people think the world should be a certain way, and that in itself is a recipe for anxiety, upset, frustration, or letting our thoughts become entrenched. We blame our surroundings, others, or ourselves for our current state. We become closed, defensive, and consumed with being right. Why is it important to move above the line and to take responsibility for how we respond to the world and to the people that live in it? Well, besides being a sure way to make this world a better place to live, moving above the line is essential if you want to reach your healthier self and live in a state of optimal well-being. In fact, this is the keystone to installing the habits of healthy mindset. At this early stage in your journey, it plays a vital role in helping you take charge of your health and your life. It starts with self-awareness. It's really important to understand that if you're unaware that you are operating in a subconscious level and making choices that are not in your own best interest, then you cannot improve. Secondly, you absolutely need to decide that you are going to take responsibility for your behavior and for your results. This is very different from placing blame or responsibility on something or someone outside of your control. In psychology, how an individual responds to their world is referred to as the locus of control. In other words, do I make life happen, or is it happening to me? Who's in charge? When we place blame on others, we give away our power and surrender control. And we place the cause and the reason outside of ourselves. When we decide we are the dominant force in our lives, we are taking back our power and responsibility, and the cause now lies inside ourselves. Most people play the victim and wonder why life is happening to them. Others play the villain and blame what is happening on someone else or on themselves. The third group, the heroes, hate conflict and pain. They avoid dealing with them by overcompensating and arriving to save the day. When you take responsibility, you're refusing to get up in the drama triangle. That's illustrated below. So here is the picture of the drama triangle. And if you were to, I don't know what to compare it to, but the top is victim, drama is in the middle, hero, and victim or villain. And it says, it's not being done to me. It's not fair. I am here to save the day. I am enabling victims. I blame you, then myself. I blame you, them, or myself. And who is at fault. So it's just this triangle of negative thought process. People get caught up in this triangle because something happens or goes wrong, and they are fearful that they will look bad, get in trouble, and have their ego damaged. And so the drama continues. Many times the players shift roles, as indicated by the arrows. The effect of blaming, feeling shame, and fear that things will not go their way happens because the locus of control is outside those who are caught up in the triangle. This leads to a state of internal unrest, anxiety, and highly stressed state, of which is unhealthy for your body, mind, and overall well-being. It also leads to bad habits like emotional eating, increased alcohol intake, drug dependency, internet and smartphone addiction, gambling, stress, and depression. Rather than succumbing to the drama triangle, which we now know exists and we can prepare for, we're going to create a new triangle that will help empower you and others. The new triangle of empowerment is the basis of the creative process that forms the building blocks of the habits of health. Here's how this triangle can help. First, when you find yourself drifting below the line, don't fall back into the previous tendency to feel like a victim. Instead, take responsibility as the creator of your new story. Equipped with structural tension as your new form of generative motivation, you are going to focus on your desired outcome rather than reacting to what happened. Second, you will challenge yourself when something happens and be curious enough to use these challenges to learn, grow, and improve rather than finding someone to blame, which is easier and ultimately offers you no long-term reward. The obstacles in your life will now become the way that you get better, the means by which you change your life, rather than being any reflection on you. And when you're responding to others, you can take that crucial decision to not drift down into the drama. Instead, you will help to empower rather than enable others. This new model looks like this. So this is the empowerment triangle. Same thing, but the top is creator, middle is empowerment, one side is coach, the other side is challenger. And it says, I am in charge of what happens. I am creating my new story. I help others get better. I empower others to be successful. Obstacles help me get better. And I am open and curious to learn. So those are on the outside. How do we make this work for you on a practical basis and give you the means of installing this new way of responding to your world? You need to be your own chief advocate on your journey and have the ability to minimize anything or anybody throwing you off track. If you're feeling overwhelmed by these new concepts and the idea that you can be in control of your destiny, remember that I am right here with you on this journey. We'll take this process like we do all the habits of health you acquire in baby steps, one micro habit at a time. Think of this as taking regular trips to the mental gymnasium. We will start with some really useful and interesting tools to help you, but first, we need to take a look at how the world works and why many fail when they try to change. When you escape your hectic schedule and are on vacation, spending some time alone or in a quiet walk, then your health and well-being intentions will make sense. You know that it is important to lose some weight, start to move more, and to make sure you get more sleep. Without the constant stream of what seems like negative information, it would be easier to install your new habits and stay on plan. But sadly, your great intentions seem to wilt when life gets in the way, and unfortunately, we can find ourselves reacting in a way that may not be to our best interest. That's why we can be in charge 1 minute, then find ourselves acting like a spoiled kid the next. Something that we know does not serve our best interests. The rational brain, our thinking brain, that knows what is knows best in times of calm, is barely, if at all, aware when your lower brain senses something is wrong. Most don't stand a chance as they sleepwalk through life in an unconscious state. The stimulus creates an immediate response from our emotional brain without a gap or a time for thinking. It looks something like this. We've all seen this. Stimulus equals response. I explained this earlier in part 1.6 of Dr. A's Habits of Health. You're in charge of your life, setting up for success. We will further discuss how our emotional or Labrador brain reacts at a subconscious level. When something happens to us, we respond at a reactive level. It activates us and we drift below the line into the drama triangle. We eat, act, and respond in ways that do not serve our new desire to create optimal health and well-being, the things you have created in your thinking brain. Can you recall a situation where your reactive brain dominated your response rather than your rational brain? Without conscious awareness, all of the above-the-line attributes, which are so important in developing your new story, will never get online and so have no chance of taking charge. In the visual below, you can see that the stimulus does not have time to reach the thinking brain before you've already eaten that donut, yelled at your kids, or shown a single finger to a passing motorist, burning very few calories in the process. So he's got our lower brains, and at the bottom, so he's got these like 3 stones on top of each other. So lizard, which is automatic. Next is Labrador, which is emotional, and then human thinking, and it's just stimulus and response. The key to regaining control starts with self-awareness. We need to create a pause in our lives, even a momentary one, so that we can create time for areas of higher thought to be present. The conscious thoughts can take over and put you back in charge. How do we break the stimulus response that triggers reactive behavior and gains control over our automated brain and subconscious mind? Question mark. It's called stop, challenge, choose. And I know people have heard us say these things over and over again. It's another one of the mantras we use with Optavia. Not only how to become the dominant force in your life, but using stop, challenge, choose. This is all about becoming fully aware at the moment when the stimulus or event happens so that you can choose to delay the immediate response from being triggered. To do this, we engage our thinking brain. Self-awareness is the first step in changing your previous programming. It will be one of the most important habits of health that you will learn. It will develop throughout your journey, and you'll use it on a daily basis. There are many ways to work on becoming more aware, which we will develop together, including a focus on your breathing and the important use of meditation as a habit of health. For now, I am going to give you some cues your body serves up when it's about to go prehistoric on you. These will give you a way to start breaking the stimulus response behavior instantly. It begins by becoming more aware of your body and detecting the signals coming up from your unconscious as they arise to the surface. Anytime you feel that something isn't quite right, you will sense your breathing change, your heart rate will increase, a lump forming in your throat, a queasiness sitting in the pit of your stomach. These are all signals that should make you stop before saying or doing anything. These sensations are signs of your awareness that an emotion is rushing through the body. It is usually connected to an action. Let's run through the stop, challenge, choose response. So stop. Your mind and body are tightly linked. The physical sensations, like that feeling in your gut, are cues that signal you to immediately take control of your current condition. Then challenge. By becoming good at stopping, you're putting yourself in a position to know how to control your response to a negative feeling or emotion. In the chapters that follow of The Healthy Mind, we will go into this in much more detail. For the moment, once you have stopped the immediate response, there are some things you can do to cool off. Usually negative feelings are generated when your ego and your identity are somehow threatened. It takes about 2 minutes for the emotion to pass once you recognize it, and it will take its natural course. I find if I drink a glass of water before talking or take a deep breath before acting, then I can fully engage my rational brain and decide what action will move me forward in my health, my relationships, and my overall well-being. Triggers such as your immediate urge for sugar, chocolate, a salty snack, or other habit of disease will cause your body to send out similar signals that you can now detect to prevent mindless eating. Next is choose. This book is making you aware, teaching you the principal habit of health so that you will have a growing repertoire of better choices to make in every circumstance. Like all other habit installations, using Stop, Challenge, Choose will take time and practice to learn and install, but over time, they will become automated. If you think about it, you're right back to the trio of cue, routine, reward. Your detected feeling is the cue, which signals stop. The routine is your thinking, challenge of sorting out what is going on, and reward is making the right choice by choosing an action that turns a potential negative action into a positive choice. This will give you a sense of accomplishment. Below, we show the ability to stop, challenge, choose, to delay the stimulus response and activate the thinking brain to choose a healthy habit rather than a habit of disease. So it was the same it's the same trio here of the lizard, the Labrador, and the human, but we have the stimulus, stop, challenge, choose, and then the response. I think you will find Stop, Challenge, Choose to be a powerful tool that helps you start to gain more control over your world. You will find that you are no longer competing with the people around you. Instead, you are looking within to get better at being in control of your inner world. What are some of the immediate ways you can start using Stop, Challenge, Choose? I put down shorthand, something that I did in shorthand, and I don't know what it was relating to. Control reactions to the work issue. Control diet by not eating poorly. And then control reactions to, I'm not sure what my thing was writing. Name 3 things you want to stop doing immediately. Anger with others, falling off the plan. Write down ways that you are currently using Stop, Challenge, Choose to increase your awareness. Write down ways that you are currently using Stop, Challenge, Choose to increase your awareness. Recognize when I'm frustrated. Recognize when I tell myself it's a special occasion, therefore I can eat XYZ. And then self-control. Take a breath, smile. There's no special occasion. Stay on plan always. I still struggle with this today. It's an ongoing battle. But at least I have the tools now to deal with it, right? That's what this is about. It's about helping you have the tools to deal with it. Is it always going to be perfect? No. But can we try at least 1% better every day to work on Stop, Challenge, Choose and make better decisions? Absolutely. Conscious breathing skill. When we are buying a car, they give us 2 different fuel consumption ratings, city and highway. Fuel consumption is erratic in the city with all the frequent stops and goes, but once you get out on the superhighway, the engine settles into a coherent. Once you get out on the superhighway, the engine settles into a coherent rhythm that allows fuel efficiency to increase. We want our breathing to have the same coherent, efficient rhythm. When we are emotionally upset, stressed, or overthinking, our breathing becomes shallow and chaotic. Originates from the upper chest and neck, and over time it creates considerable wear and tear on our body. We are usually not conscious of this daily condition until we make a decision to pay attention and become aware when we are in an erratic state. It is your normal conditioning which served you 10,000 years ago as part of the physiological state stimulated once again by your emotional brain. The great news is you can rapidly take control of this physiological chaos with your breathing. The simple awareness of your breathing can actually create physiological coherence, which allows you to rapidly regain the human thinking brain control so that you can now challenge it and choose a rational desired outcome. Changing the state of breathing can help bring all of your physiology back into line, much like the conductor turns the potential chaos of an orchestra into a beautiful harmony. The conscious control of your breathing is not unique to the Habits of Health transformational system, but plays a central role in helping you become the dominant force in your life. Our approach is not to address every aspect of breathing, but to focus on a few key elements which will have the biggest and most rapid effect of helping you gain control. The key is for you to feel natural and not contrived. First, constant rhythm. Establish a constant rhythm so that you have the same cadence on inhalation as exhalation. 4-second count in, 6-second count out, or use a 5 and 5 out. Pick the ratio that is most natural for you. So 4 in, 5 out, 4 in, 5 out. Decide what ratio relaxes you most. So inhale, exhale. He's taking us through it. Make sure you use your first breath to take full command of your breathing and become fully present. Second, even flow. Create an even flow of air so that the speed of inhale and exhale are the same. This ensures a constant flow rate that helps establish a smoothness to go along with the constant rhythm. Third, create a positive emotional experience. Focus on your heart or the center of your chest. As you take these rhythmic, even flow breaths and feel the positive emotional experience as the chaos starts to pass, which will give you a sense of calm and control. So seriously, when we do this during our Win Zooms, which is our wellness integration now, we meet every morning and every afternoon. And you can choose to meet or not. I do all the morning ones. I don't very often do the afternoon ones. But we end our time, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, we do this, on breathing. So it literally is putting a hand on your chest to really focus on your breathing. It's gut breathing, not chest breathing. So it's breathing from the gut. So it's in 4, sometimes hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4. But you're really coming quiet with yourself, which helps you to gain this control that he's talking about and this sense of calm. I would like you to practice taking over your breathing several times a day. This will prepare you to be able to respond quickly and effectively as soon as you sense it's time to stop when any situation, event, or person starts to scramble your thinking. As soon as you sense negative feelings, shift your physiology by initiating that first breath of control. This will help you build that habit of emotional freedom. How many times a day are you creating conscious breathing? So for me, it's once in the morning, and then I try to do it a couple of times during the day, depending on what's going on. I do it more often when I'm stressed. If I'm having a good day and I'm not stressed about anything, I don't think about it. But if I'm having a stress day, I really do try to stop and just do some deep breathing. But every morning with the Win Zooms, absolutely. Describe how it's working. So it does settle me, relaxes me, and calms my thinking. Before we complete this element, let's go back to the visual of playing above the line to demonstrate how powerful your ability is to look at the world from your new perspective. Now that your thinking brain is in charge, you can look at everything from the perspective of a new question. How can I learn and grow from this experience? There is no longer a need to be closed and defensive or to always be right. Carol Dweck, I think it's Dweck, D-W-E-C-K, has labeled this state of growth versus a fixed mindset. Her studies have shown that people with this growth mindset are much more successful and experience a far higher level of well-being. She is correct, but mine and Robert Fritz's work shows that it's really more about focusing on your desired outcome than what we think about ourselves. Those that have a fixed mindset think they have a finite ability and everything they do reflects on them personally. So they spend most of their time in the drama triangle. They have a need to defend their position, and as a result, they struggle. You, on the other hand, have a creative mindset, which keeps you focused on the desired outcome. You're open and curious and have both the tools and the knowledge to make the necessary adjustments to continue to improve slowly but steadily. And when something new is needed, you have the built-in inventiveness to move forward despite the obstacles that will challenge you. This will be very important as you start to write the new story of you and focus on creating optimal health and well-being for yourself. So now when you sense something is happening, you can apply Stop, Challenge, and Choose to immediately shift back to above the line and move into a growth mindset. The following diagram shows you how to catch yourself and shift above the line, using challenges as a time to learn and improve. By catching yourself as you begin to shift, you prevent descent into the triangle where it is more difficult to recover. So it's just back to this, staying above the line being curious and wanting to learn, or closed-minded and defensive, wanting to be right. Remember, we all go below the line on occasion. It is the ability to catch yourself when you're drifting down into the reactive mode and to shift into a growth or creative mindset that marks you as different to the majority. What this means is that you have a series of daily opportunities to develop the micro habit of Stop, Challenge, Choose. And it's this that makes every situation or opportunity get better. Your Habits of Health app allows you to do this daily. When these moments arise, describe in your journal some examples for the next week where you start to drift, but you've stopped yourself, challenged why you were thinking that way, and made a conscious effort to shift and choose an outcome or behavior that is part of your new story. Make sure you review all of your notes and this element often. Also, share it with your coach and spend time discussing how these possibilities will become a reality in helping you to become the dominant force in your life. In the next element, we will move from the powerful forces and strength you have within you to take a look at your surroundings and see how we can recruit the people, modify the places, and change the things that touch your world. Notes to yourself. Now that you have completed element 4, building a healthy mindset, write down your thoughts guided by the following questions. So here's the homework. What does this element mean to you right now? What does this element give you the opportunity to reflect on? What actions are you going to take as a result of this element? I encourage you to connect with your coach so that you can share your thoughts and actions as soon as possible. Sharing your thoughts with your coach will help them become a reality. Make sure you review all of your notes and this element often. That is the end of element 4. I hope you are enjoying these readings of the elements. I think it's helping me to move through the elements as I'm trying to explain them to you and some of the mind thought I was at when I first wrote my notes. Please put a comment down and let me know how you're feeling about these. It would be helpful for me to know if I'm going to continue, because I hopefully am. I mean, I want to continue, but I want to know that it's helping all of you as well. Even if I'm not coaching you and you just happen to be somebody who has subscribed to my YouTube page and you're reading or you're listening to these videos and you're intrigued by them, go ahead and put a comment in. I would like to hear from those as well, because they're not just meant for my clients that I'm taking care of and working with, but it's meant for everybody. If you're curious about the program and you want to learn more about it, please put a comment and I will get a hold of you. If you just want to continue with the educational piece of what we're doing in the life book and you're good with that and want to just do that piece of it, that's fine as well. I'm going to tell you, we consider our program a four-pronged program. It's what we eat, absolutely. That's the easiest piece. But it's also our community. It's that we have a coach. We all have a coach. And the educational system. This is the other part of it. So this is actually probably the bigger piece of the whole entire thing, is the educational system, because we're learning from Dr. A and his thoughts and the research he's done. So if you're curious about it, please put a comment, and please put a comment anyway to let me know how you're enjoying these readings. You all have a great day. We're heading up to go camping. Summer is almost over, and we won't be doing these outside once it starts raining. Have a great day. Talk to you later.